you. Thank you so much. It is really good to be home in Florida. It is really good to be home in Florida. I think to myself constantly when I am in DC that it is a difficult decision, I imagine it was for my family, for anybody to make to go up there. And the moment I start thinking to myself, why does anybody do this? Is the moment I remind myself, this is a really important responsibility. And I'm honored that I have been trusted with it. And every single day I go into the Capitol, I think to myself, if I don't show progress, if I don't start bridging the gap between the people that trust us to govern on their behalf, for them, because they're our bosses, then we're going to struggle as a country. And I think there's a big trust gap right now between the people and their government. And I am doing everything possible to make sure that they know that we're putting their interests first, that we are indeed waking up every day and working for them. And that is a big responsibility. And there's a lot of incoming. And I don't need to tell you, because you deal with the incoming every single day with in your communities. Not just the incoming safety calls, where people are like, please show up, we need help, come right now. But the incoming ways you can do better, what you're doing wrong. You're terrible people. I can go on, but you're constantly dealing with the incoming. And it is a big job, and one that not everyone would sign up for. But as I was listening to that video, and through the challenges that were brought to that young man's life, that he would have never, ever expected, no one would have wished upon him. At the end of it, he realized and found a faith. And I don't know about you, but that really hit me. Because I don't know what drew you to this profession, whether you are the principal sheriff sitting here today because you were elected, or whether you are working within the office supporting that mission. I don't know what drew you to this profession, but it wasn't by chance, it wasn't by coincidence. It was because you wanted to be a part of something that strengthened your community, that made it better, that protected others. You wanted to be a guardian, not someone that caused weakness or inflicted harm or didn't do anything or was apathetic. And I have gotten to know so many of you personally over these years, whether it was as a prosecutor or a judge or attorney general. I've talked to you not just about the challenges that you've been facing in your communities, but the challenge that many of you tragically have experienced within your own lives, whether that was the loss of a child, whether that was being a victim of a crime yourself, and that it gives to you this passion in your jobs now, whether that is creating new mental health programs for your officers or within your communities, whether that's developing ways you can strengthen resiliency within those afflicted with drug addictions. Whatever your story has been, your experiences, you bring it with you every day to work. I do that. As the wife of a law enforcement officer, as someone who has worked with law enforcement my entire career, I show up and do that. That is why my very first bill I filed was to help law enforcement officers get homes in the communities that they serve and love. It's my first bill as a United States Senator, and I have since then sponsored so many and will continue to fight for the strength of our law enforcement officers, their families, and our departments. Because I don't believe it is by chance that I am now your United States Senator. I want to serve you. I want to serve the people. And more than that, more than just serve and show up, I want to show results. And that is why when I was named one of the busiest freshman senators last year, I wasn't proud of that because that was an accolade for me. I was proud of that because it showed I'm working for you. And when I was just named in the last 2 weeks, the best constituent service in the nation, after only 1 year as a United States Senator, the first to ever do that, by the way, I was proud. I was proud to do that for Florida and Florida's families, because I was a large part of making this the most successful state in the nation. And you hear me all the time, I say we're the most pro-law enforcement state in the nation, and I believe that is the foundation of why we are the most successful state in the nation, because we understand what government is supposed to be, and most importantly, what government is not supposed to be. 250 years ago, when we first became a country, people talk a lot about the time that our founders threw off tyranny and said, no, we want a government of the people to govern ourselves so that we can protect life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. People talk about that all the time. And that is a foundation, our rock, we're tethered to that. To protect our inalienable God-given rights, yes. But people don't talk about the fact that within that same document, it says that we should set up government in a way that will affect the safety of its people. People don't talk about that. You are how we can ensure that. To protect life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, we have to have people like you to stand on that line and raise your hand and take the oath and know that you're not here by chance. And right now, I am watching what you're watching. I saw the same article of the tattoo shop in Florida that said, if you're law enforcement or military, don't come here. I see what they like to call people in this profession. And while it feels like a dagger to the heart, yes, the response should be, and we will help you too. And we will help you too. And that is the Florida way. When people rioted, when folks rioted against cops, when they wanted to defund you and demoralize you, and heck, you still got a whole party that's saying they want to defund the profession. You know what we did during one of those riots? And they called for help. Cops showed up to help them. While they were protesting cops, they showed up to help. They said, we're on that line. We're on that line for everyone. Because that's what this country is about. We're here to protect life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as a government of the people, by the people, for the people. But in order to do that, we have to have you. We have to have a government that ensures safety. I've always known that. I've always believed that. I believe that is why Florida stood out as an example, a shining star, a beacon of light during a lot of chaos and darkness over the challenges of COVID and all that followed. And there is a reason why we are now the symbol of freedom for not just the rest of this nation, but I believe the world. And I was so proud to work with Governor DeSantis and make sure that Florida stayed strong and never wavered. And so while we now see that we are blowing it out of the water in any record you can imagine, from education to tourism to entrepreneurship to new business formation, I could go on and on. Number 14 economy in the world now. I believe that's because of you. Because we never lost sight of what government should be for the people. And we never lost sight that we have to be accountable to the people, our bosses. We serve them. No matter their approach to us, we serve the people. And that's what makes you great. And I have loved standing beside you while we took on the most challenging times, including fentanyl. We outpaced the nation in reducing our fentanyl deaths. That's because of you. When we led the nation in fentanyl interdictions, that was because of you. When we came up with ways to arm our first responders with naloxone and other tools to save lives, that was you. You never backed down from that challenge. And because of that, we now get to talk to colleagues around the nation about the Florida way, which is just one more thing and a long line of examples of how we've got the blueprint right. And I am so excited to now be your newest United States Senator, to make sure we're upholding everything that we figured out here in Florida, what makes us a strong and safe state. I am now taking that to Washington on your behalf, on the families of Florida's behalf, and we are delivering results. So thank you for having my back. I will always have yours. God bless.
No, you didn't.